At Al Jazeera English in Washington, D.C. amidst further unrest in both Benghazi and now in Tripoli, the son of Muammar Gaddafi is giving a speech on state television. Let's go to it live.
And to dot the I's and explain what happened in Libya. Today, I will speak with you without any written speech. Firstly, I will speak to you not in a classical Arabic, not even in classical Arabic. I will speak to you in my Libyan dialect, and I will speak to you as a Libyan citizen, and I will speak spontaneous, and it will not be in a pre-prepared speech. I will speak from my own mind. I will begin step by step how this event began and developed. We all know that the whole area goes through an earthquake and a tempest of change, freedom, you call it however you want to call it, but there are huge and big changes are taking place which was expected, and this place in the world needs great changes. If it does not come from the regimes and governments, it will come from the people, which is our view in respect of many Arab countries. We all know, without any courtesy, that these are difficult days and need the truth, and I will tell you nothing but the truth today. We know there are elements that are objecting and opposition elements living abroad, and they have many friends and supporters and people who are associated with them internally, and of course there are objecting people, opposition people in Libya, and surely what happened in Egypt and what we call the Facebook revolution. The 17th of February, which was the sad event of the people that wanted to occupy the Italian consulate and the untrained people of the police that, of course, attacked the people. We know that there are people who, from the people that live abroad and those support them internally, they started a campaign in order to drag the country into what happened in Tunisia and in Egypt, and it started then by Facebook, emails and Twitter, and in their media campaign. The country here and of course the security establishment were aware of what happened. They were vigilant, and before 17th of February they arrested people that were responsible for demonstrations. Then the event developed into small marches, and then it has developed into confrontation with the security, and then there was some exchange of fire. A number of people died. Of course, there was violence with the police, and of course the police stations and the Department of Police were the target and targeted, and of course the army and the army barracks in Benghazi, and the whole situation developed. And of course people with anger began to attack these places. The police and the army were defending. People of course died, and people come out with funerals, angry, come back, and then so in brief, this is what happened in Benghazi and developed. It developed into big battles in the cities, and it became into a separatist movement, and not only threatening the cohesion of the and unity of the national unity of the country. Of course, there were deaths which was actually fanned the fire insofar as people in Benghazi are concerned. Of course, there were dead people, and there was other reasons, like there was a mistake from the army because citizens tried to attack the army, and of course they were in a situation that psychologically was difficult, and they were angry. The army was not used to dealing with riots, and of course there was exchange of fire. I heard from many people, and everyone did hear about it. We were told that some people attacked us, some they were drugged, taking drugs, others were taking some kind of all this kind of information that we did hear. So when we have 14 deaths, 84 in Benghazi. So we see the media, mass media, exaggerating, and in fact they speak with exaggeration. People from outside Libya, with coordination with some channels, talked as if they were in Libya. Day before yesterday, I heard that more than 250 people were killed and more than 180 injuries. This was unimaginable exaggeration, and we say also there were mistakes on both sides. The police and especially the unprepared army was mistaken, and of course we have people who were angry and the army defending its position, its barracks, and the people had the right to be angry because they suffered deaths and so on. Every party had its own story, and every party was blaming the other. But the sum total of this, Libyan citizens died, and this is the tragedy, regardless of the accounts of the army, police and people. In the middle we have people, and of course news agents, and of course mass media, and all this added to the equation. Now we have to be clear with ourselves. These events in the eastern side of the country, which is being tried to expand, to go to the to spread all over the country. We all know that these are partisan groups who have got their own political aims and political agenda, which we know about and we have no problem with. There are other groups, like what happened in Al-Baida, which is the Islamic organization or Islamic groups. These have benefited a lot from those who have been released, especially in Baida. As soon as the first thing they did was to attack the army barracks, and they attacked and used methods of killing, and in fact they gained arms and they took arms in Baida. I have uncles and my mother from this city. From day one they stole weapons, killed armies, and they actually took heavy weaponry and spread through the streets and started calling for what is called as a Islamic Emirates and something like this. This was an Islamic group with a military agenda, and they have their own system. And there were other civilian groups and people that were taking drugs and narcotics. They were also utilized for this. People that were curious. Others had nothing to do with anything. They just went in. And the others that just got excited by this. And there are many other reasons why should people be and why were people involved in this. But I am talking now about facts. Whether we like it or not, these are facts. But dear brothers, there is a plot against Libya. The security forces will show this on television. We have arrested tens of people, unfortunately, from our Arab brethren. And, of course, the African employees in Libya. This was used in order to cause a rift and sedition. Of course, money and millions of pounds were spent on these people from some people with means. And to use this in Libya, the event, the proof is in Benghazi and in Baida. You could see Arabs and Africans that were holding arms. It is not a secret. Everyone could see that. You could see illegal immigration and legal immigration. All these were used to help in this cause. There are also groups who need to rule, people who need to rule in the east of Libya. This is their program, which is not secret. People want to rule, people in Benghazi and in Al-Baida. There are also people who want to have want to create a government in Benghazi, and others want to have Islamic Emirate in Al-Baida. And someone declared himself yesterday that he was the Emir of the Republic, the Islamic Republic of Derna. So Libya has become now into a different statelets and emirates. All these have their own plots. Of course, our Arab brothers, through their media and mass media, they hyped up all this. And some media, of course, Arab media did use this. The fault of the Libyan media is that they did not actually cover this, and that was our mistake. But unfortunately, this was exploited by Arab and foreign media. And of course, this was with agreement with these groups. It is not a secret. Of course, there were a lot of rumors and exaggerations, like using mercenary killing in the hundreds, and this is all untrue. There was in many of these news agencies, the news were untrue. Also, there are other parties who are benefiting from this, such as thugs, people that came out of prison, destroyed prison, like people in Benghazi that are outlaws, and it is in their interest to destroy the country. They don't want a country with law and order and police, and they want to do what they like. So there are many different sides that have different interests in Libya, so that I am very clear with you. And it is clear those who want to rule, and every one of them made himself an emir or ruler of every town he is, which is a high treason. And also our Arab brothers who are sitting down in their comfort chairs, drinking coffee and helping us Libyans to burn and destroy our Libyan country. So they're sitting watching us and using us to burn our country on a daily basis. We are the losers, not they. Those who are now in the streets, it is not a secret. Everyone knows, everyone talks about it. Friends and families talk about it. They are now controlling the streets and they have arms. then the story is very dangerous. It is more, it's bigger than the Libyans and the young people who are in the street trying to imitate what happened in Tunisia and Egypt. Would like to tell you, Libya is not Egypt, and Tunisia don't